Kid, I want you to meet Mr. Bernie Rose.
Nice to meet you.
My hands are a little dirty.
So am I.
That was Albert Brooks in Drive. This is Albert Brooks in person.
That's for not driving.
Yeah, I don't know, because I'm looking at you, Albert.
Yeah.
Seen your movies. Martin Scorsese gave you your start in comedy in Taxi Driver. Look at that.
Was that a comedy?
Great.
Yeah, right.
But we see you as a kind of benign presence, even though you might have some anxiety about the world you live in. You were the voice of the fish in Finding Nemo, you know? Defending your life, you had Meryl Streep fall in love with you even though she was dead, you know? But in Drive, you've got like a knife. You do terrible things to people, and you're the talk of the movie world. They're screaming Academy Award. I'm screaming it. I'm saying this is this incredible performance. Your director, Nicholas Winding Refn, he said, you know what, I met Albert, he was a volcano. That guy is capable of killing somebody. So I'm looking at you. Is any of this true? Is this a whole different thing than the Albert Brooks we've known?
All of the past, all of the comedy, that was the acting. This is the natural.
This is it.
This is what comes easiest.
So behind those eyes is a man
who is very upset.
Whose rage wants to take the form of... How do you get this? How does this happen?
Listen, you know, I'm first and foremost, I started as an actor, and what happens is you start to play certain kind of parts, and then that's the way it works. Those are the parts you play. Hollywood's like a baseball team. 9 people do all the movies. And I wanted to play these kinds of parts before. I remember when the first Mission Impossible came out, I wanted that Philip Seymour Hoffman part. I thought I could knock it out of the park with that. And, you know, it's like, you know, you're good, but we don't see that. So I'm not going to write that part for myself in my own movie. I'm not going to get funding for that. So I got this call, and this casting director called my manager, and who they know each other, and said, you know, I know you always say that Albert's interested in playing a part like this. Read this. So
it's known, it's an open secret.
Well, it's an open secret to the 2 people that care.
There you go.
I mean, okay. I don't think waiters are mumbling
they
it.
Don't know.
No, I don't. You know, right. But I read it, and it was exactly what I was looking for. And then they said, go meet this Danish fella. He's rented a house up in the Hollywood Hills, and you know, see what you think. But the encouraging thing was they said, we really need to cast this by Monday. And
had somebody already turned it down?
No, I don't think so. But it just suggested that he was here for a short period of time before he went back to Denmark, before he came back to start production. Now, all of that's sort of bull. You never know what the truth is. But at least it says that you're in the last phase of somebody thinking about something. Either they, you know, have always thought about you and now they're finally meeting you, or they asked 11 people and they turned it down and you're the only one left. And, you know, Nicholas, he plays, why do you think you should play this part? You know, he's asking me this like a job interview. And I said, well, I'll tell you, Nicholas. I said, why don't you cast the same person everyone always sees, and then when they come on screen, everybody will know what'll happen, and you'll have an ordinary movie, and I'll see you later. No, I like the answer. So.
That was a little risky, you know. Yes, warming right up to him. Yeah. Right?
Well, you know, it's like,
I know it's good. It's ballsy.
It's like this. That's right. And then I eventually pinned him up against the wall just to show him I had physical strength. And then he said, "Okay, I understand." I think for a guy who makes movies that have this sort of ultra violence in it, I don't think Nicholas has ever been in a fight. I don't think he's ever.
So he's a wuss.
That's right.
This man behind the Pusher trilogy
as I would say.
Valhalla Rising and Bronson, never been in a fight. You only heard it here, Albert Brooks.
I wouldn't think so. He has very clear skin. I don't think anyone's ever punched him.
What did you know at that meeting, that first meeting, that you had convinced him?
Well, I sort of didn't. I walked away you know, he didn't say, okay, I'll see you on set, but what I don't like to do is work myself up into, oh my God, I'm going to do this and start to figure out who the guy is and do all the work and not get it. So, you know, so I couldn't tell. So I was actually had to go to San Francisco to work for the weekend, and I said to my representatives, you know, it's fine with me. I'm willing to do it if he wants to do it. So he did want to, but it wasn't like we left with, I'll see you in September. It was just a good meeting. And, you know, it's too much work to find out what's in someone's mind. You just want to, you know, I mean, I also want to see if I can communicate with him. I mean, that's sort of what the dance is. It's not completely one way. If you meet a director and you have no communication, you don't want to be there for 3 months. That's difficult. So we were just, but he did say a very funny thing, though. He said, you know, when I was younger, I sat in a movie theater in New York and watched Lost in America, and I got very scared when you yelled at your wife. So I thought, okay, well then I'm fine, and just cast me in this, and I'll be fine.
Yeah, it's just the next step, I think. You
Well,
know,
it's
from
always
Lost
the next
in
step.
America
I mean,
into
you know, listen, Peter. The truth is that the real villains or guys that are capable of this in the world are always charming, are always personable. I mean, look at Bernie Madoff. People gave him their life savings because he was the greatest guy to talk to at a golf club. If he came out and you're not going to give him, you know, your Social Security, and even, you know, Ted Bundy. I mean, you know, these people lure people into their web because they're charming, and you'd have a beer with them, and so. The villains that are portrayed as cold and one-sided, just so the audience knows who they are right away. I'm thinking of all the diehard, you know, when you see them on screen, you know what's going to happen. That's not what it is in real life.